Legends tell of a legendary mountain of legends that has a food so delicious it's heartbreaking at its peak. No one has ever attempted to climb it, and even fewer have succeeded. Until one day, one young man did. I've done it. I've made it. Where's the candy? This is it. That's the most average tasting candy I've ever had. Sort of reminds me of those video games I've bought.
Have you ever bought a game that you didn't play? And I'm not talking about your Steam backlog, okay? I get it. The game was like $3. You'd be an idiot to let it slip away. No, I'm talking about buying a physical copy of a brand new game, throwing it into your video game system, playing for an hour or two, taking a deep sigh of disappointment, and then never touching the game again. Well, I've done that many, many times, and here are 5 personal stories that stand out for me. So let's roll the title card! Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Heathen Gaming's Top 5 Personal Gaming Disappointments! An opinion piece. So for this video, I'm going to show you a game, I'm going to tell you the story leading up to my purchase of it, and my initial response to the game. I also want to point out that I still own all of these games. I'm not the type of person to ever sell a game. And I just want to take a moment real quick to point out that this is Chet Norman's list. I'm about to show ambivalence to some highly popular games. I also want to point out that I can see the appeal. I can see why people love these games. However, as Schultz has never said in his entire life, I'm not really feeling it. I love the series of Harvest Moon. I mean, look at this! Okay, I love the series, and I've bought almost every single game since Friends of Mineral Town came out. But I feel like the series, especially in the well-suited handheld department, hasn't put out a worthwhile game since 2005. But I've still powered through the games, putting at least one in-game year towards the games until Harvest Moon New Beginnings. So I read some of the reviews online and decided to grab the game, even though Tale of Two Towns really sucked for me personally. And goodness gracious, the tutorial on this thing! They gave me a tutorial! Can someone explain to me how a game that's nearly 20 years old, with over 25 entries to the series, has a mandatory tutorial? It's not even introducing new concepts that are unique to this entry. No, it's just straight up teaching me the basics. I had to fight the urge to beat myself to death using my 3DS, but I managed to fight it off long enough because of the hopes that I'd be able to feel a twinge of the feelings that I did with early installments in the series. Eventually I was able to wander the series, and it was completely barren. Now I know that the reviews said that after I had played for a while, more buildings would be made available and a town and game would open up, but honestly I wasn't willing to try. I didn't last more than 3 in-game days on this mess, and it wasn't even the fact that I had nothing to do. The one deal breaker for me was this. Natsume, why in the blue blazes is this a time system? An in-game day with a clock going at 1 minute per second is about half an hour per day. You multiply that by 120, and it's gonna take about 50 hours or more to get 1 year into the game, and I'm not willing to put up with this anymore. So, I took that game out of my 3DS, put Fire Emblem in, and never played Harvest Moon again, until capturing footage for this list. BioShock Infinite had come out, I'd never played a BioShock game. So when BioShock Infinite came out, I didn't really care. However, the gaming world did. 10s out of 10s, a game of the year for a game released in March? This game was beloved. So, I was walking around the mall one day and I waltzed on into a GameStop and they had BioShock Infinite for $40 new. $40 for a 10 out of 10 game that could likely win Game of the Year? Shut up and take my money! So I headed on home, threw the game into the console, and had a jolly old time. The gunplay was responsive, the graphics were stunning, Elizabeth was helpful. It was great. And then my friends came over and I threw in Halo in my 360. And then I never had the desire to play BioShock again. I honestly don't know why it wasn't gripping. I only put it on this list because I was looking through all the games I owned and I realized, I only had one play session with this. Alright, before I talk about this, I want to show you a video I made for my Let's Play channel. Pretty cool, right? Do you have any idea the amount of planning and prep it takes to get 4 people together to shoot, pre-order, and make a hardcore series? Answer: a cubic frick ton. I don't need to go into the details required to pull this off, but here's a picture of my living room the night we tried to play it. A general lack of understanding of game mechanics, an hour-and-a-half tutorial in a city, and deaths from cliffs ended up botching this idea worse than Hedwig and the Angry Inch. After the night of playing this, the audio didn't record properly, the footage was a mess, and since then we haven't really tried to salvage the project, and honestly, I cannot stand this game on my own. Alright, if you're new to this channel, I need to tell you, Fire Emblem Awakening is my favorite game of all time. And one of my friends told me that there was going to be a game that crossed over Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei. I thought to myself, oh man, if Fire Emblem is going to team up with Shin Megami, it must be a great game too. I love Fire Emblem, so I'm definitely going to buy this, so I may as well play SMT so I can understand the plot. Not to mention, someone I had a great deal of respect for said,
"It's the 3DS's best RPG to date."
So when I saw the Super Special Awesome Edition at GameStop, you bet your bucket I bought it right then and there. I moseyed on home, threw it into my 3DS and started playing, and I had to give a bearded old chicken-bodied man a back massage, and then I had to let him give me one. This game is so weird, not to mention the demon fusion wasn't very interesting since it was like wasting EXP every time my demon gets killed by a group attacking it, combined with the unholy amount of time I spent grinding just to get defeated by the ridiculously difficult game. I couldn't do it, so I gave up on it, and apparently, so is the company that thought combining these two games would be a good idea. Look at these scores! Look at these placements! Look at this developer! How could this not be an amazing game? I owe it to myself as a person alive in 2014 to pick it up. It was terrible. Now, before you jump on me defending this game, I can say I see the appeal. I mean, KOTOR is one of my favorite games of all time, and I can definitely see why people love this game. But I put over 3 hours into this game, and it's just unbearable for the combat is just so monotonous. Walk 5 steps, run into 3 guys, tap R until they die. Walk 5 steps, run into 3 more guys. It's awful. Maybe it's my fault for choosing the Archer class, but this game just seems too combat heavy for me to justify the amazing storyline. I played for 3 hours before I gave up too. The game was fun at the beginning, but eventually I got to the point where you have to meet the mages, and to get in there, you have to close a rift. My problem was that my team's HP was destroyed by this weird level 12 ox thing. So, I had to go make a camp so I could go into the battle with more than 3 HP spread between my 4 characters. After using my invisibility to avoid fights for 20 minutes, I finally found a camp, just to walk out and find a dragon, which glitched me over 2,000 feet in the air when it touched the ground and left my team in dire straits. We barely escaped and fought our way into the Mage's Keep, and then nothing happened in the storyline. And then I had no clue how to even progress in the story, so I gave up on this game, upset that I had spent $60 on. What about you? Have you ever bought a game excited for the adventure it was about to take you on, only to be left there, sad and betrayed? Well, tell me all about it in the comments. Bye! Now, those games didn't suck, they just didn't do it for me. You know what has done it for me? Alpha Sapphire. I'm doing a Nuzlocke on my Let's Play channel, but I got plenty of videos. In fact, I've done a video for the top 5 announcers in video games. This is my second top 5. I usually do top 10s, like the top 10 professionals in video games, video game characters that are just dedicated to their job. And I'm also going to go ahead and plug my next video here. I've got the video all picked out and ready. It's just that my cord for recording audio for my 3DS broke, so I can't really do it, but just stay tuned. Stay tuned for that video. If it's already done and you're watching this video in the past, the annotation should be clickable by now. But if not, then I don't know. Click on one of the other ones. Don't click on one of the other ones. Subscribe. Don't subscribe. I don't care. It's your life. Do what you want.